Hi everybody, getting ready to make some soup for my family. My in-laws are not feeling well, so I wanted to do, so I'm making soup for them, and then I'm also making soup for Sophie because she recently had to go through some treatments with a doctor to help her with some gut issues that she's having. So we have to be really specific about making sure that she stays gluten-free. And so the other day she said, I really wish I could have some gluten-free chicken noodle soup. So I was like, okay, I will make you some gluten-free chicken noodle soup. And it's super easy to make. And so I just thought I'm going to bring you guys along. So I have 2 pots because I'm going to make some for my in-laws and then I'm going to make some for us. And then I have some glass containers. I'm going to bring some for the bakery staff tomorrow so that they can have some as well. The beauty of bone broth is that right now, with all that we're trying to do to be well, with how many people are sick around us, it is so healing. It is full of vital minerals that we need. So making a big pot of soup is just an excellent way to improve your immunity. That's why you're supposed to have chicken noodle soup. It's not the noodles that you're supposed to have. It's literally the bone broth that's in the soup that can help to improve your immunity. So I have cooked down an onion in each of these. And so what I'm going to do is put this on low for now. And I'm just going to throw about a tablespoon of garlic in here. In each of these. I like to put the garlic in after I've done my onion because I don't want the garlic to get burned. So we'll do a tablespoon of garlic. I'll move my tablespoon around. And I just get this minced garlic. I did that for this because it would just be easier. So I think I'm going to do a teaspoon of garlic. I was thinking tablespoon, I'm going to do a teaspoon, but I'll have this recipe for you guys. So I'm going to throw that in there in the heat. And you don't want the garlic to burn because it just won't taste good. So don't let it stay in there too long sizzling on that heat. And don't put your heat too high. And just kind of get it stirred around so it's not burned. And it doesn't take much, so you're just going to get that cooked in a little bit. You don't want to have raw garlic on there, but you also don't want to have, burned garlic either. So, all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start to add all of our liquids first. So each of these stock pots is going to take 10 cups of bone broth. So you can see how fortifying this is. This is obviously going to taste amazing. And it's not necessarily an inexpensive thing to make. You could do a little bit of bone broth and then the rest water. But like I personally am doing this very intentionally because I'm trying to make it to where this is very specifically for the immune system. So I'm going to put, I tried 2 different types. So I'm going to have my in-laws tell me how one tastes. And then I'm going to have my husband and my bakery staff tell me how the other one tastes. I bought everything from Deerberg's. This first one for my in-laws is organic bone broth, and it's Wild Harvest. So that's the one that I use for this one. And then the other one is one that I always suggest for my clients, and it's Kettle and Fire. And I think I'm going to have to get fancy and need a knife for this. So, oh, no, I can peel it. So I'm going to get a little bit in each of these to get me started so that this garlic and everything doesn't start to burn. Okay, now it is literally 10 cups. So I brought you guys along for the ride. So you're in it for the long haul with me. So I'm going to get the rest of this in here. Okay, now when you're buying bone broth, you need to read the ingredients because not all bone broth is created equal. There's plenty of bone broth out there that has bad ingredients in it. So you need to make sure that you're reading the ingredients. And this bone broth has a little more in it. Like it has vegetables and different things to make it more flavorful. The other one is more neutral. And both are gluten-free, so there's no yeast. There's no ingredients that you really need to avoid. I mean, you would just be amazed the types of ingredients that they'll put in bone broth. They'll put sugar in it. They'll put all kinds of stuff in it. So you definitely have to be cautious with what you pick. So the bone broth is the most expensive part of it. Now, what I typically do when I'm making soup, just to try to make it as easy as possible, is I just try to buy stuff that has already been pre-chopped for me. Deerbergs does a wonderful job of pre-chopping everything. But boy, I went to Deerbergs today, and I don't know if it was because of the snow or if it was just simply because of how many people are sick right now. But I mean, that store had been chopped today. So by the time I got there, all the soup starters and things like that were already gone. So I had to chop all the vegetables tonight, which is fine. I don't mind at all. I was just sitting and listening to good music and just enjoying the process. So I tried not to see it as an inconvenience. I tried to see it as a blessing to be in this amazing kitchen. So I don't actually have a kitchen right now, because mine is being constructed so that I can have a bigger space for my bakery. And this is a friend of mine's kitchen that she was so kind to let me make soup in her kitchen. So I'm very thankful for that. I've got 2 more of these that needs to go in to this one. Got all the bone broth in the other one, and then I'm still on low heat right now. And I'm just keeping it at low heat. I have my garlic, I have my onion in here. Just getting my broth. One last one. That onion and that garlic cooked in together, it really is like starting a flavor base for you. So you kind of take all those brown bits off the bottom, and then that's going to end up getting into your soup. It's going to make the soup taste delicious. The soup literally smells delicious, and all it is onions and garlic right now, and chicken bone broth. So we could make us an onion and garlic soup, and I would be satisfied. Okay, now, got these in here, and so what we're going to do now is add our vegetables to this. We'll start to increase the heat a little bit so that we can start to bring this more to a boil. And so you see I've got my chopped carrots, so I'm going to take half of this and put it in one of the bowls and half and put it in the other. I actually chopped these. These were just baby carrots, and I just chopped them. But like I said, if you get to the grocery store at the right time, when it's not, I guess, suspecting to snow, then you probably won't have to chop any of this, because Deerbergs literally sells all of this pre-chopped. And that's the way I suggest doing it, honestly. So now I'm going to add my celery. So I'll add half of the celery. I really don't chop things super fine. I kind of like them sort of hearty, home style, kind of a little bit chunky, a little bit, I don't know. I like that feel instead of it all being minced up. Nothing wrong with that, but that's just the way I usually like it. So I've got all of my veggies in here, and now I'm going to add 2 bay leaves to each of these pots. And don't forget to take these out at the end. Very important to take them out. Nobody wants to eat a bay leaf. Okay, so we'll throw those in there. These are just, while it's boiling, it's really going to get some flavor in there. Okay, Good. All right. Now we've got some fresh parsley. And I am going to do a full tablespoon of that. And I did pick this up at Deerberg's. And it was just fresh cut, already cut parsley. So I don't even have to go through the trouble of chopping this. Now I usually will keep parsley in my refrigerator just fresh, and I'll just grab a little bit and just throw it into my whatever I'm making. So I'm going to put 1 tablespoon in there, fresh parsley. Fresh parsley is high in potassium. So if you start adding parsley to your food, it's a great source of potassium. Just simple foods. They all have such wonderful healing properties, you know. Now that I've got the parsley in there, I'm going to throw some thyme in here. I picked myself up a brand new bottle of this. I did dried for this because you don't use a ton of thyme. Sorry guys, thyme is hard to open. You don't use a ton of it, and it's very fragrant. You don't need a lot of it, so I don't really like to buy it fresh. And I'm only using 1/4 of a teaspoon in this big pot, and it is fragrant. I can really smell it, and I love it. I love having it in the soup because I love the fragrance of it. But when it's fresh, I feel like it can just be super strong, and I just prefer it dried. But that doesn't mean you can't do fresh. It's just what I prefer. Okay, then we need a teaspoon of salt. Now you may decide that you want to do a little more salt than this, maybe not quite that much, but you may decide you want to do a little more salt than this. That's fine. You know, you don't want it to be too salty, but what I would do is add a little bit here in the beginning, and then I would just salt it to taste. And when it comes to pepper, I just like to see that I've covered kind of the top of the soup. You know, I think I have down 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, but I just like to see that I've covered the top of it pretty good. I don't get too strict on measuring things and feeling like everything has to be perfectly measured. Sauteed the onion in olive oil, and then like I said with the garlic, I just bought a little jar. Now I did that primarily because I'm not at my house. I don't ever mind chopping up a clove of garlic. So, and then I just use the garlic press. And then it calls for some lemon. So, says a tablespoon of lemon juice. So I don't want any seeds in there. So I'm going to use my clean hands here just to make sure that I don't get any seeds in there. And I'm just using a moderate size lemon. So moderate size lemon. Putting a tablespoon of lemon juice in. Okay. We're going to throw that in both of them. I think the lemon juice just adds a little bit of brightness to it. So I would definitely put the lemon juice in because I really think it'll make a difference if you put it in there. Okay. Okay, I messed up on 2 lemon seeds. So that might not be the tastiest thing in one of those bowls. Oh, I saved one of them. Okay, I've got all of my seasonings, all of my veggies in here now. So now I'm going to add my chicken. so I can start to get some flavor in here. And all I did was I just went and bought 3 rotisserie chickens because I'm doing 2 big pots. So I like things meaty and hearty. I want to be able to have plenty of protein in there. So do you need to do 1.5 chickens? No. I just personally like feeling like I have that much protein in there. So I have 1.5's worth of rotisserie chicken, and it is the dark meat and the white meat, and I have it all shredded up. So I'm going to get that added. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. I do not do well with chicken. I'm like allergic to it, I would say. And so I cannot even try this soup, sadly. But it looks amazing. And I wish I could. Whenever I eat chicken, my face just feels like it gets really swollen. So maybe one day, I'm believing God one day that won't be the case. I'll be able to eat chicken again. Oh my goodness. I'm going to take a picture of this for you guys. This looks so tasty. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lid on. And then I'm about 20 minutes away just letting this boil down. So after about 20 minutes of this boiling, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the gluten-free noodles in. And I just picked these up from Deerberg's. These are just brown rice noodles. So I'm going to put these in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to break them like this, so they're just like smaller pieces of noodle in there, because this is basically just spaghetti. So I'm just going to throw those in there and then let it cook for like another, I would say 8 to 10 minutes, and then it's pretty much done. But honestly, with something like this, sort of the longer it simmers on your stove, the more fragrant it becomes, the more flavorful it becomes, and it's really very good. You could definitely switch it out for turkey. Yes, that's an excellent question. If garlic gives you migraines, then just leave that garlic out, because that's just for a little bit more flavor. Just put maybe a little bit more onion in, or you could put some leeks in. You know, maybe just throw a little something extra in there. But definitely don't feel like you have to have the garlic. That was just a little bit of added flavor. So I'm going to put the lids on the top of these, and then just going to rest for about 20 minutes, let these boil up, and then I'm going to get those noodles in there, cook for another 10 minutes, and then it's soup. And then I'm going to pack all this stuff up along with this very sleepy dog that is down here on the floor. And then I'm going to take it and drop it off on my in-laws' front porch, because I want them to be healthy. So I'm going to attempt to take this camera and show you what this looks like. So stay with me here, because I want you to see this. You stuck with me this long. Okay, so here's the soup. Stir it around a little bit. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? You guys see that? It's kind of steamy, but isn't that great? Yep, I'm excited for them that they get to have this. And I'll show you. Ben's pretty excited too. He's kind of out at this point. He's like, Mama, I'm tired. You've been cooking for too long. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just thought it might help to motivate you a little bit to make a big pot of soup, just to try to get the family healthy. Everyone is just not feeling good right now, and so this will just help everyone, you know, to be able to feel healthier. And gluten-free egg noodles would be fantastic. One thing I will say, and this will be on the recipe card, is if you want to stay lower carb, then just put an entire bag of frozen riced cauliflower in that soup. Don't even put the noodles in there. That's what I would do if I was eating it. I wouldn't eat those noodles. But just a whole bag of frozen riced cauliflower, then it'll taste like chicken and rice soup. Or you can pour that soup on top of zucchini noodles. So just a big bowl of zucchini noodles and just pour the soup on top of it. Then it'll be really low carb. So I hope that helps you guys. God bless you.